So in part 3 of our test taking strategies day, we're going to be looking at true and false questions. So these ones show up on occasion. They are nice in the sense that if you come in with no idea how to do them, well, you still have a 50-50 shot at getting it right. So guessing entirely at random should get you a passing score or close to it. But there are better ways to do it. One of the key things to look for are a set of words called specific determiners. So, what are specific determiners? These are words like always, never, all, none. So these are words that will say there are no exceptions to the following rule. If you see one of these words in a true-false question, the vast majority of the time, it's going to end up false, because there are very frequently exceptions to these rules. So, for example, if I said all prime numbers are odd, well, this would be false, because 2 is both even and prime. It's the only exception, but it's true. If I instead give you the question, most prime numbers are odd, well, now the statement is true. Because there is one even prime number and infinitely many odd prime numbers. So even though we can't say they are all odd, we can easily say that most of them are odd. So that makes it true. By the same token, if you have the words some, most, very few, something that tells you is only part of the population, especially some, which isn't a specific level, it's you have some where it's true and some where it's false, as opposed to more than half are true or much less than half are true. If you've got some, that's a pretty good sign that your true-false question is going to be true. It's a little less certain when you have most or very few. They are more likely to be true than false, but it could be specifically designed. If someone said most prime numbers are odd, it would be true. If they said most prime numbers are even, it would be false. So we do have to keep in mind the context. So these are not guaranteed hard and fast rules every time, but they are rules that will help you watch for keywords to give you that extra edge to go through. You also want to be careful about whether there are specific details or generalizations. If they tell you a certain document was signed after a war, well, that is pretty vague. You just have to remember the cause and effect chain. But if they say a certain document was signed on, say, April 4th of 1920, well, then you're leaning more into the false possibilities, because this would not just be after World War I, and that cause-effect chain is the only relevant piece. This might be a teacher who's trying to catch you in the specific details because a document was actually signed on April 5th, 1920, or something along those lines. So the more pieces of very precise and specific information you have, like names and dates, then the more places there are to have a detail that's a little bit off and make the answer come out false. So if you're reading a true-false question and have no idea, but you see four names of people and a city and a date with month, day, and year, that's a whole lot of pieces that have to be lined up perfectly to be true. So in a lot of tests, it is more likely that the response to that question should be false. So these are the key points to watch for when you are doing true and false questions.